Hi, and welcome back to Purple Color Life. In the bed of the Ranger, we've got some small oak, mostly oak, a little bit of maple, that we cut up in a previous video, clearing a path to get more firewood in the woods and be better prepared for getting firewood out of the woods for wintertime. Now that small stuff, a lot of people would never split. It's probably less than 4 inches in diameter, maybe some of it as much as 5 inches in diameter, but most people probably would just stack that, season it, and burn it in the future. In this video, I'm going to talk to you about why I think it's better to split even the small stuff. We'll give you 2 main reasons, and there might even be more you guys could leave in the comments, but just my opinion on why the small stuff still should be split. Little splitter update here. We are using the Splitfire 2265 for this video because, like I mentioned in a previous video, I filled this up with gas to run that cycle time test, and you can see we still have at least a half a gallon, half a tank in there. This thing just sips the fuel. I've used it for quite a bit of splitting since that cycle test video, which I'll put a link to up above. But the great thing about that Honda engine is it's super reliable and it's very fuel efficient. As you can see, it doesn't take very long to split the small stuff. It's just one split through, and with the Splitfire splitting in both directions, I can just kind of stack it up on there and get through a whole bunch at the same time. And some people might be saying, and maybe I'm the only person in the world that splits this small round stuff, just this limb wood, but I'll tell you why I do it. One reason is it's going to dry faster, especially wood like oak. It's going to take longer to dry because it's got the bark still on the outside. It is green wood, or at least it was green wood when the tree got cut about a year ago. So this would take probably a year and a half to season, even though it's small wood. It's just not going to season as quickly without being split. As soon as you split it, it lets the air get into the center piece of the wood. It's going to season a little bit faster, dry a little bit quicker, and be able to be burned a little bit better sooner. The other reason why, and you can see it right here, there's a little bore in there. This tree did have bugs in it, so splitting it lets me make sure that the bugs are not still in there. There's not ants in there. There's not worms in there that I wouldn't want A, to take in the house in the future, or B, to stack in with the rest of my firewood. For example, if I had a piece with termites in it that I didn't know by looking at the outside that there were termites in it, and then I stacked it in my building or my basement, I would not want those termites getting into the house. So you can see what I do is I just stack up the log lift, not using it as a lift, just as a storage area to put the pieces I need to split. I had emptied out this left-hand side of the Polaris Ranger, and that's where I'm putting my split stuff. On the right is the stuff I still need to split. So that's another nice advantage of the log lift, is it's not always used for log lifting. In fact, I probably use it more than half the time not for log lifting, more like this for log staging. Here's another piece that probably had some bugs in it once upon a time. It looks like they've all cleared out. That actually makes it kind of a pretty piece of oak. Another nice thing about this split fire knife is I use it, if I've got a little piece like this sticking off, I can just kind of break that off. I did a video last year about taking advantage of the small limb wood, and so a lot of people commented that it was worthwhile to go ahead and cut up that limb wood, waste not, want not. But some people said they had certain sizes they didn't cut below. Somebody said if it's smaller than their thighs, they don't bother cutting it. Other people said if it's smaller than their wrists, they don't bother cutting it up. So you got pieces like this, definitely smaller than my thigh, and pretty close to the size of my wrist. But not only did I cut it up, I'm also going to split it up. So there you have it, some wood that other people may not have even cut up. I cut up and split up. This is still going to be good firewood for us. I throw stuff like this on kind of basically as kindling or just after the kindling. This little stuff, especially being oak, gives us some good hot coals. Yes, a lot of people do leave these as rounds, and that's perfectly fine if that's what you want to do. What I've found is I don't have the perfect staging location for firewood to season out. Mine is kind of in the woods. We live in the woods, so there's a lot of places where I can store firewood that don't get 100% sunshine. Plus, we live in Northwest Pennsylvania. We don't get a lot of full sunshine days as it is. But being split, we'll get the air to the center of them a little bit faster. They'll dry out a little bit faster, and we'll be able to burn them within a year, probably. Thanks for watching. Leave those comments down below. Do you think I'm crazy for splitting this small firewood? Is it a waste of time? I'm anxious to hear what you guys think about it. I just find for me that not only do I like to split it, but I also like to inspect it. And splitting it in half lets me make sure there's not ants or bugs in it that I don't want to take into the house. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again the next time. In case you were wondering how much gas did we use, negligible. Now when I'm splitting this small stuff, I don't even run it at full throttle. Run it at maybe a third to a half throttle, and I can't even tell any difference at all in the level of fuel that's in that tank. It's just such a fuel sipper.